Hey guys, and welcome back to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. Absolutely awesome news. The Nintendo 64 core for the MiSTer FPGA has been updated yet again because, hey, Robert, as I always say, is that unstoppable machine. So the last video I did was, I think, yesterday, which looked at the core that was updated on the 16th of October. And this core has been updated on the 18th. So this was updated yesterday. I'm filming this on the 19th. And I'm going to release this on the 19th as well. So the game that you're seeing on screen now is ECW Hardcore Revolution. And this is one of the new games that's working either on this core or the core version before. And honestly, you'd be forgiven for thinking this is a ball kicking simulator. The opponent I'm fighting is called Balls, and honestly, I've never kicked someone in a computer games in the balls so much. I mean, that guy can take it. I get punched, my character gets punched once in the gonads, and he just falls down. This guy takes literally balls of steels, takes the hits. Now, I'm not familiar with WCW, ECW, any of the other ones. I only know WWF, and that was for a limited period of time until I found out wrestling wasn't real fights when I was a kid, and I was kind of heartbroken because I thought these guys were fighters, and then I found out they're just actors and acrobats. So what we're going to look at in today's video, we're going to look at some normal N64 games, some new ones that are working, some ones that crashed before are not crashing now, are working really well, and as well as that, we're going to look at some Nintendo 64 disk drive games. Now, the core doesn't support N64 disk drive games per se in a normal format, but there's a whole bunch that have been patched, and we can run the patched versions of the games because they're made to run on things like EverDrive. As well as that, we're going to look at some Aleck 64 games, which is like the arcades kind of games, or arcade games that use kind of Nintendo 64 hardware. So guys, before we get into the video, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then hey, a like and a subscription is super duper appreciated. Let's have a look at some N64 stuff. Let's go back to where it all began. So this Namco Museum was the first commercial game that began working on the Nintendo 64 core. It's the one that Robert showed first as, here you go, here's a retail game that's working. Now, I think some of the other games were working on there. There were some crashes, but now games aren't crashing. I want to take this opportunity to thank a friend of mine, RGW Panda. Do check them out. They stream stuff over on Twitch, and they do a lot of testing, and they're a great help to my channel, and they also help out Video Game Esoterica. So a big shout out to you, because hey, it's difficult to keep up with everything, so your help is always appreciated. So pole position was crashing before. I can't remember where it was crashing. It might have been something weird, like when you swap gear from low to high, it would just crash. But now it's working flawlessly. I didn't test Pac-Man or Gallagher or any of the other games in here. I kind of like pole position. I think I'm not sure if I'm mistaken. I think I played this on the Atari 2600. It might have been something similar, but I do like this game. And if you want to play it, it plays well. The next part I want to check out is someone asked to see scanline. So the scanline options are there, and I think those are the ones that are just kind of hard coded into the MiSTer main or the MiSTer operating system. So let's go and have a look at a few of those before we move on to the next game or the next part of this video. Here you can see scanlines horizontal set to soft, and honestly they do look really nice on my screen. Like I always say, by the time you see them on YouTube, they just look ropey, because even in my recording software it just looks a bit dodgy. But here you go. Okay, so these are the ones that I like. These are horizontal and they are medium, and honestly I think they look really nice. I prefer these to soft when I'm playing. These ones here are just vertical scan lines, and they just look wrong. They feel wrong for this game. I'm sure they have the use cases for different games, but not for pole position. Let's have a look at this golf game. So this is Nihon Pro Golf, and this is one of the games on the Nintendo 64 disk drive. And I, for one, kind of like golf games. I don't really play too many now. I really think I should, because they're very relaxing. Now, I had a little go on this, and it took a while for me to work out the controls, because, hey, guess what? The controls, you have to swing the analog stick. I was doing a really bad job of it. See what you can see here. I've got my GoPro. I'm like, okay, I kind of thought you have to press the A button and the power thing will go around, and you press the A button again to kind of like have your power. And I was getting just really confused trying to get this to work, and in the end I moved the analog stick. Obviously didn't move it enough because hey, the ball went forward and it just rolled down a hill and went into the water. Right, if you thought I was bad at golf, well, you've seen nothing yet. I'm very bad at trains as well. So this is Densha the Go. I'm pretty sure a cartridge version of this is out as well, because I remember running this in a previous video, just having a look at some visual effects on the title screen because you could see it quite clearly. But here I am, I'm trying to start a train. I've just got no idea what I'm doing. It's not really my type of game. My kids, they're weird. They like games they like train games, and they made me buy them like this bus game where you take tourists around. But hey, I think that's what they like doing. They're like 7 and 9, and I don't know, they like riding buses. Maybe they'll like this. It's not really my thing to play, but it's one of the games on the Nintendo 64 disk drive system. This one here is Daimon 3D, and you know what, I kind of like this game. It reminds me a little bit of Layer Section, you know, where you've got like your normal shots and you've got another layer which kind of locks on and you can fire your lasers there. Very kind of arty looking, and I think if I was to play this I'd be using scan lines. To be honest, if I'm playing stuff and I'm not filming, I'm generally using visual effects to make my modern LCD or LED screens look a little bit more like a CRT. But this game's decent. Yeah, you guys should definitely check it out. Now, when I was looking for Nintendo 64 disk drive games, you know, some of them are archived on the internet somewhere, I couldn't get all of them. I think there's 9 games in total. I managed to get 5 of them. There's one that had a giant that I wanted to check out, but I wasn't able to find that anywhere. Hopefully I can find that in the future. Do let me know if you want to see, you know, a video on that, or that being featured in a video, and I'll try and get the game when I've got a bit more time. But yeah, this game's a decent shmup. It's not the greatest shmup. Something about the control just, it doesn't feel as great as other shmups that are out there, but I do like the fact that it's got that kind of layer section thing, well, where you know, you're fighting 2 layers, and here I am thinking, what the hell is that? I need to dodge that, only realizing that it is a power-up. Okay, there's actually an FZero game out for the 64DD. I don't know anything about it. To be honest, when I played it, you'll see when we start the race. So I don't know if there's any differences. Like always, guys, educate me in the comments. Let me know what the differences are here. It feels like the same game to me. I've done the first track. I picked a different car to what I usually pick. But hey, I'm going through the races as I'm doing videos. But it felt just as good as it did on the Nintendo 64. Now, honestly, I've got no idea if there's differences. Maybe there's differences that are apparent and obvious. I can't see them. Like, this feels just as good as the Nintendo 64 version does. But there has to be differences, right? I mean, why else would you have a, you know, N64DD and have like normal cartridge stuff? There has to be something. So definitely educate me in the comments. Always appreciate that. But yeah, FZero runs well on it, and definitely check those out. So if you're checking out the MiSTer Core, even if you're not checking out the MiSTer Core and you're playing the Nintendo 64 and you've got an EverDrive, then look for the patched versions of the disk drive games. There's really not that many, and honestly, like, I can't see why Robert the developer would put N64DD support into the core when there's only 9 games and you can get patch versions of all 9 of those games and just run them. It just feels like that work isn't really required or needed. You can just run them, and you've got like the normal N64 versions of some of the games like FZero as well. So, but anyway, I did play FZero for some time, and then I have to kind of remind myself that hey, I'm shooting a video, and then I've got to do some chores for my wife because today's my final day off work, and then I'll back at work tomorrow, back to the grind. We have Mario Artist. Never really understood Mario Paint, never tried it. In fact, I think I loaded it via emulation one time ages ago, and I was like, what is this? So this is Mario Artist. Don't really know much about it. I guess this is you know, 64DD exclusive. Maybe a kind of thing if you're a kid and you're kind of messing around with it, you don't have a PC and you're swapping stuff and you're doing stuff here. But this is one of the games on there where Mario's an artist and he makes abominations like a crazy looking turtle. And I don't know, I think you can mix and match this stuff. So I don't know, you can give someone like a bicycle for a head, or you can have like a skull for a seat on the bicycle. I've got no idea, but it's one of the games on there. Star Soldier Banishing Earth, one of the Aleck 64 games, which is an arcade game based on Nintendo 64 hardware. Now again, it's not a bad shmup by any means. There's just something like the movement. I don't like the movement. Let me know if you've played it and what you kind of think of it. I'm playing this on like D-pad, and the default speed, the speed that you start with, at least for me, it just feels a little bit too fast. Like generally in shmups, I don't go for the fastest speed because I end up just like running into bullets as opposed to avoiding them. But look at that, the first level boss is good, the power-ups, the special fire, there's a lot of good stuff in this game. But like the two shmups I've tried on the Nintendo 64, the N64 disk drive one and this one on the Aleck 64, I don't know, there's just something off about the movement in those. Right, I know you're going to see some funky patterns now, but this is Kuru Kuru Fever. This is one of the games on Aleck 64, and this happened to a few of the games, not just one, where I was just getting like a grid up and I could press the button and change the colors, but that was it. But I just wanted to show you this, guys, because this is the experience I'm getting on some of them. I think I tried all of the games, only 2 of them worked. The other game that worked is this one here, Tower and Shaft, and honestly, this is pretty weird. It feels like a mobile game, like someone made a mobile game and they wanted to turn it into an arcade game, because the only thing I could figure about this game, or figure out about this game, was it just has one button. The one button, you hold it down, you power up your jump, and you jump high, and that's pretty much all there is to the game. I'm sure some people liked it and enjoyed it. It's not the kind of thing that I would play, I don't think. I mean, this kind of seems like, you know, when everyone first got their iPhone, I mean, first iPhone I got wasn't the original iPhone or the 3G. I moved on to it when the 3GS came on. I've since gone to Android because, hey, some of the stuff I do just can't be done on an iPhone. So, yeah, it feels like those early iOS games, or mobile games in particular. We just, you know, the one button thing. I did like Angry Birds, though. That was a great game on mobile. But yeah, Tower and Shaft, you press a button, you jump up. That's pretty much it. The final game we're looking at is something that Robert mentioned in his update notes for this call. Let's bring those up and have a look. And Robert says RDP implements clock timer, NBA 99 wrestling games, but deactivate it for later CICs until RSP pipeline is complete. So, well, he said NBA 99, hey, you know what, guys, I kind of like the NBA Jam. I played it a lot on the SNES, and that's the one I wanted to try out. I saw there was different NBA games out there, so maybe he means another one, but the one that I'm looking at here is NBA Jam 99. Now, if you're wondering, all of a sudden, I've got basketball playing skills. I haven't. Like, both the teams are being controlled by the computer, and while this was filming, I went and laid down on my bed for 2 minutes just to kind of relax, but I ended up looking at my phone and answering some YouTube comments. But that's really it for this video, guys. So we had a look at some N64 games, only a handful, like 3 N64 games. Then we had a look at, I think, 5 Nintendo 64 disk drive games, 64DD. And then we had a look at some Aleck 64, the arcade hardware games. Only 2 of them that actually worked, and one kind of color patterns on the screen, whatever you want to call it. That's it for this video, guys. Yeah, so more updates. Hopefully I'll get some more videos out in the following days. No doubt Robert will be updating the core. Do check out Robert's Patreon in the description of the video if you do want to support his work. He also writes awesome articles, very, very in-depth articles about his development journey, if you do want to check those out. Also want to send a special thank you out to Andy D, who's always helping me in the background, RGW Panda for just, you know, pinging me on Discord and saying this works, and you know, this has stopped working, this now works. It just makes you know, getting games for the videos a lot easier, because covering FPGA stuff, honestly, it's very, very time consuming. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up, subscription. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.